If we are able to pass the supplementary budget environment request of Mr. President, this will enable our administration to provide the various infrastructure that we are planned to provide for Nigerians.
Senate leader calls for the reconvening of the Senate in the national interest.
Fake news is a clear and present danger to the peace and security, our democracy, and indeed the corporate existence of Nigeria.
Information Minister pushes on with advocacy against fake news. Plus, Taraba Police Command confirms recovery of 7 bodies following swimming tragedy. Hello, a warm welcome to NTA Network News. I'm Sheung Olagunju. Joining me from our Lagos studio is Dotun Okunyemi. Habibu Shagari joins us from Sokoto, and Mina Okwabase is in Port Harcourt. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, unless the Senate reconvenes without further delay to complete the 2018 budgetary process, government may shut down in a matter of months. This is due to the fact that the capital component of what the government is receiving from the Federation account is not enough. This was the focus of the meeting between Acting President Yemi Osinbajo and Senate Leader Ahmed Lawan at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Senate leader Ahmed Lawan told the press after the closed-door meeting with the acting president that the Senate needs to pass the variant on the supplementary budget, as the capital aspect of the 2018 budget would be largely funded by foreign loans, and the facilities need the approval of the Senate.
If we are able to pass the supplementary budget environment request of Mr. President, this will enable our administration to provide the various infrastructure that we are planned to provide for Nigerians, and also the other aspects of national development. To do otherwise will be to sabotage this administration, will be to sabotage democracy itself, because if we cannot provide the essentials for Nigerians, if we cannot provide funds for INEC to plan the 2019 elections, what do we call ourselves?
Appealing to the members of the Senate now on recess, the leader observes that whatever the crisis going on in the Senate, the people of the country must not suffer.
Parliaments that are responsible and responsive will always take into account the national interest, work assiduously to ensure that the country does not suffer. Here, in our case, we have our budget suffering. We are not able to implement anything today because we are not able to, as a legislature, the National Assembly, pass the request of Mr. President. So I believe that we should be on the same page with Nigerians.
In the same vein, Senator Ita Enang stresses the need for the request of the President to be attended to by the Senate.
We're still appealing to the National Assembly to reconvene. You remember that we passed the budget with understanding that a greater amount of the money will be gotten by foreign loans. Although this was approved that there would be loan, the amount to be gotten was not approved. The Fiscal Responsibility Act requires that the President should specifically state the amount he wants to get on foreign loan and present it before the National Assembly. That letter has been presented to the National Assembly, and the National Assembly has to pass that amount before the money could be drawn or obtained.
He informed the press of the intention of some of the members of the Senate to defect to the APC.
That the APC has harvested more people from the PDP and other political parties. The head of the PDP in the Senate is formally joining the APC family, and that will be in a big ceremony on Wednesday, the 8th of August in Akwa Ibom State.
The two are optimistic that their colleagues would heed the call and reconvene to do the needful for the sake of the nation. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the membership of the All Progressives Congress APC has continued to increase in Ebonyi State. Uchechukwu Chibueze reports that high-profile new members were formally received by the national chairman Adams Oshiomhole during a mega rally in the state.
Addressing APC Federal in Ebonyi State, the national chairman of All Progressive Congress Party, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, who said he was of high spirit, seeing the mammoth crowd who trooped out to not only show solidarity, but make an effort to sustain the good leadership of President Buhari, enjoined the people to continue supporting All Progressive Congress Party.
A government at all levels, including federal government and state government, must fulfill their obligation to protect lives and property, regardless of your ethnic origin, regardless of your religion, and regardless of your social class, status. We resolved, we remain committed to those, and we will continue to work for the people of Nigeria.
The Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnayonu, the Chairman of Education and former Governor of Abia State, Dr. Oju Zokalo, the APC Chairman in Ebonyi State, Pastor Eze Nwachukwu, and the former Governor of Ebonyi State, Chief Martin Elechi, among other party stalwarts, extolled the exemplary leadership of President Buhari, which they said has been very beneficial to the people of the Southeast Zone. They expressed no doubt that APC will emerge victorious in the 2019 general elections.
Enugu Road, the Enugu-Port Harcourt Road. This was in 16 years, but in 3 years, work is going day after day on this road by the APC administration.
Speaking on behalf of other new entrants into the party, Senator Sonny Obuoji expressed happiness for the warm welcome accorded them, while stressing that it is time for APC to take over the leadership of Ebonyi State in order to effect the much-desired changes. High point of the event was the formal reception of the new members by Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. In Abakaliki, Uchechukwu Chibezidam, NTA News.
In the meantime, political groups have continued to show support for the parties of their choice ahead of the 2019 polls. Buhari Friends Organization Network is one of such groups. It has expressed readiness to work towards the successful re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari in 2019. Political correspondent Salihu Abdullahi reports.
Strategies adopted to achieve success by the Buhari Friends Organization Network includes constant interface among the group's national executives and coordinators from across the country. The commitment by members who have remained resolute in the project of sustaining good governance by the APC-led government beyond 2019 is non-negotiable, as evident at this gathering.
Even after the 2015 general elections, we are still very much on ground with most post-elections activities. The first and only support group to have organized a joint prayer summit, Muslim and Christians, under one roof to pray for Mr. President, his family, other leaders, and the country as a whole, and sensitization campaign for peace in the country.
Highlight was the adoption of a book showcasing the successes of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration since inception, as well as the presentation of some of the group's patrons. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Still on politics, the Protem National Chairman of the Sustainable National Party, SNP, Kayode Michael Arimoro, has emerged the substantive national chairman. This was at the party's maiden national convention in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
23 national officers of the party emerged by majority voice votes. 18 of them were part of the erstwhile Protem executives, while 5 new members came on board, including the party's National Publicity Secretary. National Chairman Kayode Arimoro, in his acceptance speech, restates that Sustainable National Party is an ideological one owned by the people and welcoming incorruptible people into its fold.
We the people reserve the responsibility to reverse the ugly trend and annex the hope for the good common man. Together we can. Together we must, together we will, and the time is now.
Other executive members condemned the recent gale of defections by politicians, stressing that the development is not healthy for the growth of democracy. They implored desperate politicians to shun negative tendencies capable of overheating the polity, especially as another round of elections draw closer. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Now, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has continued his sensitization visits to media houses to drum up support for the ongoing national campaign against fake news. The minister was guest at the corporate headquarters of the Authority newspaper in Abuja. Anthony Forsen reports.
Received on arrival by the managing director of the newspaper, Madu Honora. The minister told the editorial board of the organization that the national campaign against fake news has become necessary given the danger it portends as the country inches towards election.
Fake news is a clear and present danger to the peace and security, our democracy, and indeed the corporate existence of Nigeria. It is a time bomb waiting to run elections. In Nigeria, fake news is aggravating conflicts, especially the farmers-herders clash. Purveyors of fake news are also exploiting the country's fault lines, using religion and ethnicity to divide the country.
Adding that Nigeria cannot be an exception, as the opposition, he said, are bent on giving the present administration a bad image, hence their penchant for generating and sponsoring fake news to disinform the citizenry. He expressed particular appreciation to the Nigerian Television Authority, Radio Nigeria, News Agency of Nigeria, TV Continental, among some of the media organizations who are sponsoring the campaign. Responding to questions as they bordered on the state of the nation and the present government's resolve to deliver on its three-core agenda, the minister explained the state of affairs as at May 29, 2015, what the administration met on ground and where it has taken the country to in all of the 3 points.
I want to call on us at TAGOP to do more than what they are doing now. And we're going to have a very, a much more secure state. I know some other states are taking the cue. I know Imo State is doing very well also in this respect. But you see, blaming every security, infraction on the federal government, I think it's the wrong way to go.
The managing director, Madu Honora, expressed appreciation for the minister's visit and pledged the organization's willingness to key in and support the campaign against fake news. In Abuja, Anthony Forsen, NTA News.
To our tragic report now, the Taraba State Police Command says it has recovered 7 bodies out of the 9 Youth Corps members who recently drowned in one of the waterfalls of Mayoselbe town in Gashaka local government area of the state. The State Police Public Relations Officer, ASP David Misal, who confirmed the incident, said the command is making frantic efforts to recover the remaining 2 bodies. Christy Ajagba Adaji reports.
According to the police public relations officer, ASP David Misal, the recovered dead bodies comprising males and females were identified as Youth Corps members currently serving in Taraba State. The police spokesperson said 9 out of the 22 Corps members were on a picnic at a waterfall. He said the recovered 7 dead bodies have been handed over to the management of the National Youth Service Corps, while the police is working with other relevant persons to recover the 2 missing bodies.
Immediately we embark on search and rescue operation, but unfortunately before we could get to where they are, those who that were recovered were already dead.
We are hopeful that God will help us to recover these 2 missing Corps members. I don't want to say their bodies right now because we are hopeful that they could be found alive.
When NTA News visited the NYSC Permanent Orientation Camp, the management and staff of the NYSC, as well as the Corps members present, were seen in a state of mourning. In Jalingo, Christy Ayagwa Adaji, NTA News.
May the souls of the departed rest in peace. In security now, Senator Shehu Sani of Kaduna Central Senatorial District has called on Birnin Gwari community to remain calm and law-abiding as the Buhari administration takes steps to tackle the security challenges bedeviling the area. Senator Sani made the call in Birnin Gwari during his visit to commiserate with the people. Ibrahim Bello Gunda reports.
Birnin Gwari and its neighboring communities have been experiencing a series of attacks ranging from cattle rustling, armed robbery, and kidnapping, among others. The security challenges have also displaced many from their homes. Senator Shehu Sani, who was in the area to commiserate with the people over the incident, urged them to keep faith with Buhari administration as efforts are being intensified to contain the challenges.
There is no way the government should fold its arms and watch people suffer. So I'm here to identify with you. I've visited some of the villages around.
The senator paid a condolence visit to the emir of Birnin Gwari, Zubairi Jibril Megwari II. Some of the affected communities, namely Gwaska, Doka, and IDP camp in Maganda, and the Nigerian Television Authority Birnin Gwari. He also visited the Izala and Erika mosques under construction. Senator Shehu Sani maintained that he will continue to support the people of Birnin Gwari. In Kaduna, Ibrahim Bello Gunda, NTA News.
Time now to take some messages. The news will continue shortly. Stay with us.
Bros, I find correct words. Huh?
See the shop for that side.
Look how that be correct words.
Now the shop be done, now the next one. Peter, see as people they pack, they go to the shop, go buy clothes.
It don't reach like 5 days now. I just suspect this Tunde way this is where in Waka could carry Waka. See, I go blow whistle. I go blow whistle to go spoil.
Your whistle. Come on, go investigate the matter before you blow whistle. Whistle blow. Come on, come on.
Thank you for coming.
Show first.
Ready? Come. Not only you the circle for this market. Why be say only your shop everybody they come? I just want blow whistle. I go blow something.
This is not be whistle blowing matter. Now MTN goodie bag.
What it be MTN goodie bag?
With MTN goodie bag, if you carry your market enter another level, whether not for Facebook or for WhatsApp or for Twitter, for as low as 25 naira.
25 naira.
Yes, so dial *131*3# with just 25 naira daily or 50 naira weekly. You go get double data to browse Facebook, Instagram, chat, WhatsApp. Make yourself come to get double.
A beautiful life and a great future is possible. Stand with Standards Organization of Nigeria. Avoid substandard products, electrical appliances with damaging effects, tires without DOT number, stuffed and rusty edges. They can cause accidents. 12.5 kg LPG cylinders used as camp gas is a disaster waiting to happen. Substandard cables can cause inferno. Other substandard products to avoid include batteries, electrical bulbs, iron rods, pressing iron, brake pads. They will only endanger our today and future. Join hands with SON in ridding our country of substandard products. Don't buy or sell substandard products. See something, say something. Call these numbers. Standards Organization of Nigeria. Improving life through standards.
The National Teachers Institute, NTA Kaduna, wishes to announce the commencement of a 1-year advanced diploma in environmental education. The program was developed by the institute in conjunction with the Center for Environmental Education, Ahmedabad, India, and the Commonwealth of Learning, with the support of the Federal Ministries of Education and the Environment. The advanced diploma program is under the Green Teacher Project, which is a unique capacity-building distance education course aimed at creating awareness among the Nigerian public. The program is designed for in-service teachers, and it will be a non-residential online program with 1-week intensive contact session in each semester. The sale of online application forms commences immediately. The program commences September 2018 with contact session at the NTA headquarters, Rigachukun, Kaduna. For admission requirements and mode of application, prospective candidates should log on to www.nti.edu.ng. Announcer, Professor Garba Dahua Azari, Director General and Chief Executive, NTI.
When we move, we create magic. When our feet touch the ground, wonders happen. We were born to fly, to create the spectacular. Because our hearts are full of passion. One step at a time, we confirm our passion. Because in Africa, our rhythm inspires our game. Our game is our passion. Indulge your passion with Glow Data Unmatched. Great supporters of African football. Glow, grandmasters of data.
Everybody dance now.
We are the strongest. No challenge can stop us. Oh Lord, and we are the brightest. No darkness can blind us. We are the strongest.
Let Malta goodness fuel your greatness. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the daring and invincible Louis the Mosquito. Responsible for 200 malaria cases all on its own. Is there anything that can kill Louis?
Morphine!
Presenting Mortise Power Guard. Its powerful formula kills malaria mosquitoes fast. So, get Mortise Power Guard.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant. To achieve our creed as we promise, we shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Thanks for staying with us on the Network News. And we begin the segment from the energy sector. Renewable energy has been identified as a critical source of energy which must be explored for sustainable development of key sectors in the country. This informed part of issues on the front burner at a 3-day top management retreat of the Ministry of Power, Works and Housing in Calabar. Maureen Leo Ajon reports.
With the top management brainstorming over several issues bordering on the power, works and housing sector, the retreat mapped out several ways forward for the sectors. These were contained in a communique presented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Mohammed Bukar.
Government had directed on the need to ensure that the Bureau of Public Enterprises should be there, and the Nigerian bulk electricity traders adhere to the terms of contract agreement.
The retreat acknowledged the effort of the Energy Commission of Nigeria and called for the development of energy research on renewable energy in Nigerian universities. Substantive recommendations on road construction and housing sectors were also made. The retreat had as its theme goal setting and goal reaching for a focused team. In Calabar, Maureen Leo Ajom, NTA News.
Artisanal miners across the nation are to undergo training before benefiting from federal government's financial assistance. To this end, the Federal Ministry of Mines and Steel Development is meeting with all state ministries of mines and mineral resources to chart a way forward. Mia Ogidi reports.
They lost lives and the environment also degrading. Yet they continue with the trade in order to make ends meet through crude processes. Many measures, including financial assistance, have been offered to this set of miners, yet no visible progress has been made in terms of environment friendliness.
These miners use inappropriate methods and very rudimentary tools to exploit mineral resources. In this method, very little attention is paid to the environment.
Top officials in the sector are therefore revisiting their modalities on how to organize the artisanal miners into groups at the state levels to be trained, as they constitute close to 80% of the mining population.
And we don't want to criminalize these people because we want to organize them, and for us to do that, we need to know from them exactly some of the challenges they are facing and the things we need to do to ensure that we have a smooth organization.
The ministry has a genuine intention to collaborate with the stakeholders, that we are out to see how this artisanal mining can be addressed.
To enforce compliance with this directive and other mining laws in the country, vehicle was donated to the Miners Association of Nigeria to complement the efforts of field officers of the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development. Mie Ogidi, NTA News.
The Nigeria Customs Service has seized 7 truckloads of smuggled rice in Mokwa, Kogi State. National Coordinator of the Comptroller General of Customs Strike Force Team, Abdullahi Kirawa, says intelligence gathered from agencies helped in the seizure. Kunle Adeyeye reports.
At different times, the service has taken delivery of Toyota Hilux vans from the federal government to counter smuggling, especially rice. These, according to Controller Kirawa, is responsible for the uncompromising nature of the officers fighting smuggling. He said despite the terrain in some of the borders and creeks in the country, it has become almost impossible for the smugglers to operate.
The seizures were as a result of synergy and collaboration amongst the various units of the service and also with sister organizations like the Nigeria Police and the DSS and also the Nigerian Army. They came via Ilorin to Kaba, so they were precisely arrested at Mopa village near Kaba in Kogi State.
Each truck contains 600 bags of 50 kg assorted rice, and earlier 1,246 bags of rice were smuggled through the creeks in Ogun State last week, which the Customs Service seized. In addition, 3 suspects have reportedly been arrested in connection with the smuggling. In Abuja, Kunle Adeyeye, NTA News.
The head of service of the Federation, Winifred Oyoita, has challenged permanent secretaries in the Federal Civil Service to equip themselves with innovative ideas in order to discharge their duties efficiently. Mrs. Oyoita said this during a peer review mechanism forum for permanent secretaries organized by the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs.
Everybody's assignment as a civil servant is extremely important, should be appreciated, should be recognized, and should be held with dignity. So please remove the concept of grade A, grade B, grade C. Every civil servant is important. Every civil servant is equal, no matter the ministry you're being posted to, in terms of your having responsibility to the Nigerian nation.
Recurring issues which are often raised in other MDAs, including accommodation, vacancy, promotion, facility maintenance and others, were also addressed. Although this is the first time the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs is hosting the gathering, the permanent secretaries were optimistic that the forum helped them to re-strategize in meeting up with the demands of the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan of the federal government. To the judiciary now, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onogen, has appealed for greater financial accountability in the nation's judiciary as a way of stemming allegations of corruption in the third arm of government. The appeal came in his message to the opening of this year's National Seminar for Financial Administrators in the nation's judiciary. Femi Okeowo reports.
There are 2 major levels of corruption allegations in the nation's judiciary. The first is the claim of inducement of judicial officers who make judicial pronouncements, while the second is the way financial resources allotted to that arm of government are managed. Over the years, the nation's judiciary has worked to check this trend through disciplinary measures and preventive procedures. One of such preventive measures is the workshop which is being held for top directors, managers and internal auditors of all courts, both at the national and state levels. This is why the Chief Justice of Nigeria in his message called for upright conduct by this category of judicial workers.
It is important to emphasize that corruption in all its forms and ramifications must be eschewed by you and officers under your supervision. As accounting officers, you are personally responsible for the public funds and property committed to your care.
The workshop is being organized by the National Judicial Institute, the Apex Training Institute for the Judiciary in Nigeria. In Abuja, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
Now, towards reducing road crashes in Nigeria, the leadership of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, NURTW, has urged all road users to support the union and other policymakers in the transport sector. The request was made at the special Thanksgiving service to mark its 40th anniversary at the National Christian Center, Abuja. Adebola Brooksling Sunday reports.
The convergence of members here marks the climax of the one-week-long celebration. With joy and gladness, members then proceeded to the altar in appreciation to God and pray for a greater and accident-free Nigeria. Pastor in charge, the Redeemed Christian Church of God, City of David, Abuja, Bolade Okela, admonished them to remain focused and put their trust in God.
On behalf of the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, who has sent his greetings and congratulatory message as well, that the Almighty God will keep them and guide them.
We ban selling of alcoholic things and anything, drugs. They are not selling it at the motor parks.
We are ready to accommodate so many people. Let them go to our unit, some of our units, and go and read their complaint there. We implore them. We will train them with our own money and we will give them vehicle to end living for themselves and their family.
Established in 1978, the union now has about 3 million members. Adebola Brooksling Sunday, NTA News.
And now just coming in reaction to our earlier report, Acting President Yemi Osinbajo is saddened by the tragic drowning of 9 National Youth Service Corps members in Mayo Selbe in Gashaka local government area of Taraba State. In a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the Acting President on Media and Publicity, Olaoluwa Akande, Professor Osinbajo extended condolences to the families and relations of the drowned Corps members on behalf of the federal government. He said the nation has lost some of its talented and productive youths in their prime. Dotun is in Lagos with the next set of reports. Hello, Dotun. It's over to you.
Thank you, Sheung, for joining us in Lagos. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly Matters, Senator Ita Enang, has appealed to the leadership of the National Assembly to reconvene to attend to issues pending before it. Senator Enang made the appeal while interacting with journalists at the Conference of Speakers of Nigeria in Lagos. Amaka Owo has the details.
Senator Ita Enang said that members of the National Assembly have the right to proceed on recess, but nonetheless, as a matter of urgency, should endeavor to take steps to address matters affecting governance and not allow the country to suffer.
In fairness to the National Assembly, they did not deliberately keep these matters and went away.
That's the environment?
The environment, certain of the appointments, the supplementary budget, the borrowing plan, and so on. And then the INEC fund. They should please consider reconvening for the purpose of considering these urgent matters which are capable of making the government not perform and deliver on time.
The Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly Matters, Senator Enang, also said that defecting members of political parties are seeking suitable platforms for re-election and not necessarily doing so on the basis of issues relating to governance.
If you listen to each of the statements that have been made by the persons moving from one political party to the other, talking about things about themselves, either what they go through or what they will want to do. None of them is complaining about the executive's treatment of their constituents or their states or other things.
He added that President Muhammadu Buhari is committed to following due process for the common good of all citizens of the country. In Lagos, Amaka Owo, NTA News.
A multi-sectoral partnership tagged Alliance for Epidemic Preparedness and Response has been launched in Lagos by the Minister of Health, Isaac Adewale. The project, a collaboration between Private Sector Alliance of Nigeria and Nigerian Center for Disease Control, is aimed at enhancing Nigeria's ability to prevent, detect, respond and control disease outbreak. Joyken Abakboya has details.
The 2014 Ebola outbreak, the response and the role of both the public and private organizations in containing the epidemic brought to the fore the importance of partnership, especially in the health sector. The Alliance for Epidemic Preparedness and Response Project is an opportunity for government to involve the private sector in preventing and managing disease outbreaks.
We want to really benefit from the efficiency, the result-oriented approach of the private sector and the resources available in the private sector.
They have all sorts of capabilities with supply chain management. Those are the assets they can bring on board for us to be able to achieve the objectives of protecting Nigerians.
Director General, Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, Dr. Chikwe Ihekweazu, says over 4 billion naira is expected to be raised by the partnership to improve infrastructure, direct response, and emergency stockpile in the nation's disease control sector.
It's really something that we have to collectively come together. And we know we can do it because we saw it happen during the Ebola outbreak, but we want to do it in a more proactive way.
And we're excited that with over 55 companies and corporates that have committed to being part of this alliance.
Panelists at the forum lauded the initiative, which they say, if sustained, will reduce the burden of infectious diseases and epidemics. In Lagos, Joyken Abakboya, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. More reports after this timeout. Please stay with us.
Do your gums hurt? Yeah. Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile? All that in one toothpaste? Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums. Ah, Colgate Herbal. Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums.
The old one don't vamuse so as the new one land the bam. Better pop inside every chop we get Mr. Chef seasoning cube. 10 Jara cubes dey inside the 100 cube packets and 5 Jara cube inside the 50 cube packets. Go buy your own now before the Jara then finish. Mr. Chef, the jollyment you not go forget.
We have a challenge. My husband has a big interview, but his shirt's aren't cleaning well.
Don't panic, Ngozi. Just use Good Mama. Good Mama's extra cleaning power removes all dirt, leaving a wonderful scent. Look, whites are white, colors are bright, and extra fresh.
Now in a 1 kg pack.
He got the job?
What do you think?
Obvious.
Good Mama knows best.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the daring and invincible Louis the Mosquito. Responsible for 200 malaria cases all on its own. Is there anything that can kill Louis? Morphine! Presenting Mortine's Power Guard. Its powerful formula kills malaria mosquitoes fast. So, get Mortine's Power Guard.
Wakey, wakey, rise and shine. The new Mocha Dreamtime mattress is specially designed with kids in mind. And it's water resistant too, so it's real easy peasy to clean. Mocha Dreamtime gives my kids the quality sleep they need to succeed.
Buy your art, score for your team. Sleep up Mocha Dreamtime, achieve your peace.
The first mattress designed with kids in mind. Mocha, adding comfort to life.
Now you too can win big in the 2018 3 Crowns Mom of the Year competition. Yes, a trip to Dubai for 3 is up for grabs. Mothers are special. They always go the extra mile for us. And what better way to appreciate them by nominating them for this year's Mom of the Year crown. Write a 100-word story why your mom or nominee should be crowned the 3 Crowns Mom of the Year. Submit your write-up, your nominee's picture with empty packs of 3 Crowns milk products at any collection center near you. Terms and conditions apply.
3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
Fake news which is shared for malicious purposes is a danger to our peace and security in Nigeria.
Misinformation as fake news is a serious threat to our hard-earned democracy and promotes hatred and misunderstanding between our communities. We are all responsible for stopping the spread of fake news in its tracks. So, always check the source and credibility of any news item. Say no to fake news. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
You're still on to NTA Network News, and now business news. Federal government through the Central Bank of Nigeria is set to end low denomination scarcity. Let's join Muplang Dakok for details of these and more.
Hello and welcome to Business News. The Central Bank of Nigeria has launched a move that is aimed at ending the scarcity of lower currency denominations across the country. The Assistant Director, Currency Operations of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Benedict Badago, made it known that the Apex Bank had commenced the direct disbursement of 200, 100, 50, 20, 10, and 5 naira denominations in exchange for the higher denominations. Madagu says the disbursement has started in Abuja and had been extended to Lagos, Kano, Enugu, Onitsha, Ibadan, Yola, Gombe, Katsina, and Jos. Meanwhile, the Institute of Directors Nigeria says regular board evaluation in all organizations in the country is necessary for economic development. President of the Institute, Ahmed Rufai Mohammed, said this on the sidelines of its 2018 induction for new members.
So we're trying to make sure that there is governance that is appropriate and the best practice that is happening all over the world in the public sector. So board evaluation clearly is a way of evaluating the performance and the efficiency of a board, whether they are board of processors, board of agency of government, or board of a private company.
The equities market began the week negative after recording losses as the NSE All Share Index and market capitalization depreciated by 0.06%. UBA, United Capital and Regalins were the toast of investors. The insurance industry topped the gainers chart led by Nigerians, H-Markings and Equity Assure. On the other hand, Ikeja Hotel, Aluminium Extrusion Industries and Better Glass led over 10 losers. The stock market report wraps up business news. Good evening.
Still in the financial sector, the Central Bank of Nigeria has introduced a biometric data capture technology in the Anchor Borrowers Program towards ensuring transparency and effectiveness of the program. This is coming as the Apex Bank commenced distribution of farming inputs to beneficiaries of the program in Cross River and Enugu states. Musa Baba Aliyu has the details.
12,000 rice farmers in Cross River State are benefiting from CBN's Anchor Borrowers Program. They are in Calabar, the state capital, to receive their farming inputs in lieu of the loan facility they requested under the program. Before presenting the items, which include seeds, fertilizer, irrigation equipment and chemicals, their biometric data, such as the size of their farms and location, as well as residential addresses, were captured.
And to improve on that, we also have a biometric card, electronic card. So there is traceability. Everybody has a card. If you don't have a card, you cannot participate. Your farmland will have been mapped and everything will have been loaded into that card.
Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele, who was represented at the distribution center in Calabar, says the program is open for all farmers registered under the scheme.
Our experience at Central Bank has taught us that it is important to invest in ensuring that the identity system in this whole program is well managed. And so the goal, the objective of making Nigeria a rice-sufficient nation and a net exporter of rice is on course to be attained.
We want to thank Central Bank for believing in the association, for believing that the association can play such a vital role ensuring rice farming in Nigeria remains sustainable.
And in Enugu State, 5,000 farmers have so far keyed into the program, and their inputs were handed over to them by officials of the Apex Bank. All the farmers benefiting from the program have been linked to off-takers.
We are hoping to work at least 3 times in a year from now henceforth.
But with this assistance now, I've decided to go into 10 or 15 hectares within this rainy season period.
In Calabar, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Let's head to Sokoto now, where Asmao is standing by with more reports. Asmao, please go ahead.
Thank you, Shehu. Good evening and welcome to Sokoto. Members of the National Youth Service Corps have been challenged to contribute their quota positively towards tackling the nation's insecurity. Sultan Muhammad Saad Abubakar threw the challenge when he received Batch B 2018 Corps members at his palace. Shehu Muhammad Dati completes the story.
Sultan Muhammad Saad said as young people and future leaders of the nation, the Corps members can give their contributions by concentrating on positive things and making positive comments about their nation. The monarch said dialogue the best way of resolving conflicts rather than confrontations, urging the Corps members to always learn to do better things for themselves and the entire country. The Sultan emphasized on the need for unity, justice, equity and love for one another for a better Nigeria.
So I challenge you, youth corpus, don't allow anybody to dominate you. Whether it's a Christian or it's a Muslim or it's a president or it's a governor or it's a sultan, be yourself, because you are the most important person to yourself.
The NYSC coordinator, Mr. Phillips Enaburewa, said the Corps members represent the 36 states of the Federation, including Abuja, with 2 representatives each. He said the Corps members have shown dedication and discipline in all their camp activities. The 1-hour interactive session with the Sultan featured questions and answer session. In Sokoto, Shehu Muhammad Dati, NTA News.
The Sokoto State Police Command has arrested 19 suspects for armed robbery and other crimes. State Police Commissioner Murtala Usman Mani stated this while briefing newsmen. Shehu Muhammad Dati again has the report.
The State Police Commissioner, represented by the Public Relations Officer DSP Cordelia Nwawe, said 19 suspects were arrested for different criminal offenses. The arrested suspects are accused of terrorizing the people of the state through armed robbery and fraud, among other criminal activities. Anas Kabiru and Abdullahi Rua were arrested in possession of house-breaking equipment. Sheikh Muhammad and Bello Abdullahi were also arrested in possession of dried leaves suspected to be Indian hemp. DSP Cordelia Nwawe said Abubakar Shehu and Mahadi Bello are gay and were arrested in the act.
All operational tactical teams back in Sokoto to make sure that Sokoto, all kinds of crimes are brought back and nipped in the bud immediately.
A syndicate of 5 suspects was also paraded for extorting money, cell phones, and other valuables from unsuspecting members of the public. 6 people were equally arrested and paraded for alleged duping of people at Shagaru local government area in the name of praying for them to have their dreams become reality. The police also gave an update on the Tabani attack, where the police public relations officer said 2 units of police have been deployed to the area for peacekeeping. In Sokoto, Shehu Muhammad Dati, NTA News.
And that's it from Sokoto. It's back to Shehu in Abuja for more on the news. Good evening.
Thank you, Asmao. Now, 110 women and youth have completed a 10-week intensive training in skills acquisition and vocational trade in Benin City, organized by the Nigerian Air Force Officers' Wives Association, NAFOA. Eugenia Ndobisi reports that each of the trainees received a certificate and starter pack to assist them in the various skills and trades acquired.
The Nigerian Air Force Officers' Wives Association Skills Acquisition and Vocational Training Program is targeted at women, widows, and youth in the barracks and the surrounding communities to complement both state and federal government's efforts in curbing unemployment. NAFOA President Hafsat Sadiq Abubakar said the training became necessary in order to build capacity among youth and women to make them self-reliant and able to cater for themselves in the changing economy.
NAFOA is basically a humanitarian organization where we touch lives positively and make the aid.
I'm just so thankful to you for bringing this to Edo State especially, and also for even
designing this for our country.
When skill acquisition and vocational training are combined with other forms of academic exploits, infinite options and veritable opportunities for employment emerge.
Best graduating students from different departments were rewarded by the association, as this marked the 7th edition of NAFOA Skills Acquisition and Vocational Training. In Benin, Eugenia Ndubisi, NTA News.
And now to Port Harcourt to bring more reports. Mina is standing by. Hello, Mina. Over to you.
Hello, Sharon. Good evening and welcome to Port Harcourt. New General Officer commanding GLC 6th Division, Nigerian Army, Major General Jamel Saham, has assumed duty at the division's headquarters in Port Harcourt. This comes as the outgoing GOC, Major General Musa Yusuf, expressed satisfaction with the reforms in the division and support from all stakeholders during his stay in Port Harcourt. Kingsley Amajiri reports.
In line with military tradition, a farewell parade was held in honor of Major General Yusuf at 6th Division Parade Ground, which had service commanders of other sister security agencies in attendance. General Yusuf commended the officers and men of the division for their commitment and support during his stay in Port Harcourt, stressing that he introduced trainings that have impacted on the professional performance of the division. He appealed to them to extend same cooperation to the new GOC.
In this regard, I have no doubt that my successor, Major General Jamil Sarham, being a visionary person that I have known, will improve on the already existing tempo to make all of us better personnel for the formation and the Nigerian Army.
The changing of the division's flag marked the exit of Major General Yusuf and the takeover of the command by Major General Saram. Major General Yusuf has since left for 81 Division to assume duties at the new GOC, while Major General Saram was moved from the Nigerian Army's School of Infantry, Jaji. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amachiri, NTA News.
In a bid to constantly engage Christian women from around the world to stand in the gap for the restoration of God's glory on the nation and the world, Welling Women Worldwide is on course with her annual international prayer conference holding in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Osinachi Sylvanus Abraham was at the opening of the 18th edition and now reports.
The theme for the 2019 Welling Women Conference is His Dominion. Coordinator of the program, Laide Okafo, said God has been faithful to the women through the conference, reaching out to all nations of the world.
And through these women and the intercession, we see God transforming nations.
I see God's hand in what He's doing in the government, in different spheres of influence.
Coordinators from 26 of the 144 countries billed to attend were present at the opening ceremony, flying their nation's flag.
Oh, I am blessed beyond all recognition, you know. From the minute I landed, it's been a blessing.
The 18th edition of the International Prayer and Leadership Conference holds from the 5th to 11th of August. From Abara, Eche, local government area of Rivers State, Osinachi Sylvanus Abraham, NTA News.
That's a bit from Port Harcourt. It's back to you, Shaun, for the rest of the news.
Mina, many thanks, and we'll take another short break. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
The 2018 World Cup has come and gone, but Nigeria's participation, performance and conduct remain on the front burner. Tuesday Live this week examines Nigeria's participation and matters arising therefrom. It promises to be incisive, educative and informative. Don't miss it.
Your favorite Maggi star now wears a new look. Its great taste and quality still remain the same. With Maggi, every woman is a star. Maggi!
Time for sports update with Kene Emma Bodike.
As the crisis rocking the leadership of the Nigerian Football Federation lingers on, the